Hi, in this video we're going to talk about how to convert units in the metric system. So we're given a metric table that represents kilo, hecto, and deca. Those are all units, metric units that are greater than 1 unit. And then we have deci, centi, and milli, which are all metric units that are smaller than 1 unit. So we're just going to talk about a strategy for how we can use the table to convert from one metric unit to another metric unit. So in this question, we have how many decameters are in 1.25 centimeters. So I'm going to start by saying under centimeters, I have 1.25 centimeters. Now I need to find where decameters is in my chart. It is right here. So then each one of these represents a movement of the decimal place. So if I am to the right of decameters, then my decimal place needs to move to the left. I need to move my decimal places 1, 2, 3 times to the left to get from centimeters to decameters. So I'm going to take and move 1. Let's move this number down here so that we have more room. 1, there's 1 place. 2 places where I would put a 0 since I didn't have a number there. 3 places I would put another 0 because I didn't have a number there. So that's my 3 movements to the left since decameters is to the left of centimeters. So now we know that 1.25 centimeters is equal to 0.00125 decameters. 1.25 centimeters is equal to 0.00125 decameters. When you have to move your decimal point to the left, that means your number is getting smaller, which means you divided by, and we divided by a power of 10 with 3 decimal places because we moved our decimal point 3 times to the left. So we divided by 1,000. So when we're moving to the left, that's division. When we're moving to the right, we would be multiplying. And the reason for that is anything to the right is a smaller amount. So if you have 1 metric unit, 1 meter, it takes 10 decimeters to make up 1 meter. And that is 1 place to the right, so 1 times 10. If you have 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. That's 2 places to the right. So 10 times 10 is 100. You would multiply by 100 to move 2 places to the right. Let's do another example. Here you measure the height of the water in an aquarium in 1 metric unit. Then you move the decimal point 3 units to the left. Which pair of units might he be converting? So the first option here is kilometers to liters. If we start at kilometers and then move to liters, liters would be our base unit. That would be liter, or if you were doing meters, you could be measuring meters. But this one is talking about volume, so we're measuring liters. So is that 3 units to the left? Here he moved the decimal point 3 units to the left. No, if we started with kilometers and went 2 liters, then we're going to the right. So you need to make sure you know your direction here. Anything going that way is to the right. And if we were moving this direction, that is to the left. All right, let's look at another option here. We've got centiliters. So here's centiliters. If we're going from centiliters to hectoliters, then we're going to the left. So that's a good sign. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So from centiliters to hectoliters, that would be division by a power of 10 with 4 zeros. So that is not 3 points to the left, that is 4 points to the left. And just to go back and put what we got for this first one, if we had kilometers or kiloliters, 1, 2, 3, to liters, we're moving to the right. So that would be multiplying by 1,000 because we moved 3 places, so 3 zeros. All right, let's look at the next option. We've got liters to deciliters. So again, liters is your base unit in this problem. So liters is right here. If we're going from liters to deciliters, that's to the right. To the right is multiplication, and there's only one place, so 1 0, so times 10. So that is not moving 3 points to the left. And our last option that they give us is deciliters, starting there, deciliters, to hectoliters, 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 places to the left. So this would be my correct answer because that represents starting and moving 3 places to the left. To the left is division. That would be divide by 1,000 to get from deciliters to hectoliters. Okay, another example, a bucket contains 1.34 kiloliters of water. How many deciliters of water are in the bucket? So we're starting with 1.34 kiloliters, and we want to go to deciliters. Deciliters is here, so this is where we want to end up. We're moving to the right, and like we said up here, when we had to move the decimal point to the left, we were dividing. If we have to move the decimal point to the right, we are multiplying. So this may be something that you want to write down. Left is divide, right is multiply. And I would even include the arrows so that you make sure that you're moving the right direction. You've got the correct direction paired with the correct operation. So here we're moving from kilometers this direction to liters. So that is to the right, which means we need to multiply by a power of 10 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So when I take 1.34 and move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4 places, I get 13,400 deciliters. Okay, another example here. Joni has a box that has a mass of 67 decagrams. She converts this to centigrams. Her work is shown below. So we're starting with, let's just make sure we've started with 67 decagrams, and we're going to centigrams. So that means we're going this direction. That would be just grams. The base unit here is a gram. Then we would go here, that's to the right. Here, there's my centigrams. So I'm moving to the right. And to the right makes my number bigger. When I move my decimal point to the right, 1, 2, 3 places, then my number became bigger. And when I moved to the right, making my number bigger, that's because I multiplied by 1,000. I did not divide by 1,000. So any measurement that you convert to that's to the right of the beginning measurement, that's a multiplication problem because you're talking about a smaller unit. And there's going to be more, your number is going to get bigger to represent more of that smaller unit in whatever you started with. And we have Jamal is 167. This is my abbreviation for centimeters. My base here is a meter, which means we would start with the units as a meter, 1 meter. And we're talking about 167 centimeters. So there we are with centimeters. Which expression, or write an expression that finds Jamal's height in decameters. So pay attention to your prefix, decameters. So here we're going from centimeters. We are moving to the left. Left means my number is getting smaller. When you move a decimal point to the left, you're making your numbers smaller, which means I'm dividing. So I'm starting with 167 and I'm dividing by, how many times am I moving? 1, 2, 3. So I'm dividing by 1,000, 3 zeros. So 167 divided by 1,000. If I wanted to come up with the answer, the decimal point in 167 is there. Move it 3 times to the left. So 167 centimeters is equal to 0.167 decameters. And this would be the expression that got me that answer. Thank you for watching.